What happened? What happened? What happened? Hello, hello. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Kaylee and I'm back with some more Apothecary Diaries. We left off on a very exciting note, the return of Kazugetsu. Lakan and Lahan came to Jinshi to essentially present the information that they have gathered through their research, where they have figured out that the Shisui clan is essentially planning an uprising, a war, and they're preparing for it. So they're calling on Jinshi to essentially put together an army under the emperor. And he cannot do this as Jinshi the eunuch. He has to do this as Kazugetsu, the crown prince. And by doing this, I'm assuming that means that his role as Jinshi is now coming to an end, because I can't imagine that he is going to lead this imperial army completely anonymously and then go back to his life as a eunuch in the rear palace. I just don't see that happening. We did see the aftermath of Maomao getting caught by Shenmei, who is absolutely terrifying, by the way. Like, she is so scary, and just the trauma that she's inflicted on Shisui and, well, Lolan, and then the real Shisui as well. It's just kind of stressful, and now she's been taken to the stronghold where they are preparing to go to war. She's been tasked with making an immortality drug, and it's kind of wild because she's been there for all of like half a day, and Shenmei is like, I need results. Where's the progress? I'm like, ma'am, Miss Ma'am, it sounds like you've had more than one apothecary try to do this immortality medication, and that has not seemed to work, obviously. So I'm not sure what she's expecting, and I'm not sure how much time Maomao is going to have to produce results. But I do feel better that Jinshi has kind of gotten to a point where now he knows potentially where Maomao could be, knows what the situation is. In his hand had a drawing of the stronghold. So I just think we're getting to the point where maybe these storylines will start to once again converge. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and hit subscribe. The uncut version of this reaction will be over on Patreon, so I'll put that link in the description box below if you want to check that out. And now let's jump into the episode. Oh, okay. Seems unrealistic, but I guess Shisui is growing on me. I don't know. I wonder if we'll ever find out who the last apothecary was, or if that person's even like necessarily relevant to the story as far as their identity. I'm getting so nervous for him though, because he said his mother is there somewhere, and I just feel like it's probably not a good situation. So I am a little worried for him that he will discover who his mother is and where she is, and it's not going to be positive. That's just on my mind when I see that kid. Oh? Oh. Wait, that's actually so sweet. Like, he's trying to help her, but where is she gonna go? Like, where is she gonna go? At this point, it's like she kind of just has to stick it out and hope that people at the rear palace, Jinshi, she has to put her trust in other people, which, to be fair, when you've got Jinshi, Lahan, like when you've got them on your side, you're kind of golden. I mean, like, that's a pretty formidable group of people that are like, obsessed with you, right? Well, maybe not Lahan, he doesn't really know her, but they love you, right? Like, they care about you, they want to get you back, but then also they're incredibly smart and capable. So she kind of just has to stick it out, which I think is okay in her case. This kid is not understanding the gravity of the situation. Like, oh, or nor. Oh, that's his mom? Oh. Oh no. No, 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 no. Not in front of his mom. What is the deal with his mom? Like, does she just not care, or? What is the water chamber? Yeah, she is terrible. So she's gonna interfere. Right. Yeah, you know what also too, this is almost like she often is going on and on about how things are not relevant to her, she shouldn't interfere, she shouldn't do XYZ, and then doing them. But this is the first time I think she has, like, in her mind really talked herself into doing something and given herself some type of reason, even if it's just it pisses me off, because we're always used to hearing her talk about how, like, she doesn't need to interfere with things, she doesn't need to do things, and then watching her do them anyways. So I don't know what the goal is here outside of just distracting Shenmei maybe and giving her, like, someone to focus on that is not Kyo. Oh no, 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 no. Oh, don't say that, no. What is the water chamber? Oh my god, she's insane. Here's the thing. I know that Lolan cannot do anything because what is she gonna do against Shenmei? But like, I just am still mad at her and her character, and like the fact that she's standing there and like watching all this happen and not trying to do anything. I'm like, you're the favorite. Like, not that she wouldn't face any punishment or negative repercussions of stepping in, but like, you're just watching this happen. Oh, okay. Well, clue me in, Mama. Oh, good point. That makes so much sense why she is afraid of snakes. Why was this the suggestion? Part of me wonders if this was the suggestion because Lolan knows how much Maomao is aware of poisons and maybe how to like not die from it, and maybe in this scenario it is better for her to be in here with all these things than it is to be in a water chamber during like freezing weather. I'm not surprised that she's very excited about this. Oh my god. Mamo's so funny. Stop. Did she use the torch to barbecue these snakes? That is insane. Okay. You know what? Maybe Lolan has grown on me. He's so sweet. So smart because yeah, I guess it is cold weather and maybe I'm assuming Lolan knows that because she is very into bugs and reptiles and all of that, but I'm sure that helped. So again, she's a quick thinker and she's really smart, and this makes me think that maybe she does actually care about Maomao. Oh? Oh. Oh man, they got a whole operation going. Oh no.
今すぐここを離れなさい。
お嬢様、どうして？
もうすぐ討伐軍が攻めてきます。この砦は戦場となり落ちるでしょう。
Oh my
その前に逃げな
goodness.
さい。
Oh, she's helping them. I'm sure that was not Shenmei's orders, to be honest with you. I mean, let them get out first. What? Yeah, like, what? Is this not what they've been preparing for? Like, obviously, I'm sure they did not plan for a force to come so quickly and attack them, but like, weren't they preparing for a war? Did they have no plan? They're in a stronghold. What was the plan? What was the plan? Because I'm sure it wasn't to blow up all of your gunpowder and just like call it a day.
あれ、マオマオ、なんでいるの？こっちだって聞きたい。怪我はない？大盆、マオマオなら平気だと思った。うん、美味しかった。意味わかんないからそれ。
Truly.
好んで虫食べる人に言われた。
Yeah, get out.
砦から出よう。
Also, now I'm like obsessed with their friendship. It really took like 8 minutes of solid, good Lolon deeds for me to be like, I love them as friends, and I hope they stay friends.
お母様に知られたら怖いわ。ムチ打ちで済めばいい方ね。ローランは大切にされてるように見。
I don't think she has the ability to care about
お母
anybody.
様はね、私の顔もろくに覚えてないの。お母様にとってローランはお人形なんだ。また来たのか。私も手伝う。姉様と一緒に。お母さん。
さっさとお茶を持っておいで。
お母様は下女の格好をして私
Oh
に
my
気づか
god.
ず、うちわで頬を打っ、そこにいるのはただの下女。
She's the worst.
それでも水霊に会いに。
And that makes so much sense why she's really great at like double lifing, right? Is she probably lived a double life, spending time with Suire and then had to go back and be Lolon, so.
姉様の母様もきっと私のお母様にいびられて死んだの。
My god.
親子2代で私を愚弄するのか、娘も何をするかわからないバイタだって。
一度汚れた血が混じったらおしまいね。
水霊はもしかして先帝との間に生まれた娘と引き離された女官の話。
What?
その人が姉様のおばあ様。
Oh.
名前は大宝。お母様が高級にいた時の次女だったんだって。水霊には皇族の血が流れている。怪談話が好きな人だったと聞いたわ。
Oh.
前にそれで窒息しかけたけど、そのおばあ様の仕業だったのかもね。
Oh my goodness. I have chills. That's actually nuts.
幽霊なんているかわからないよ。
Yeah, typical Maomao, and that is the one thing that Maomao has not been able to explain from medicine or science or like whatever. She is like has no idea how the whole like haunted ghost stories night happened in terms of like that person fully being there and then just like not being there. So I think it was a ghost.
お母様がお父様と結婚したのはローランを産むためだったの。お母様の復讐のためだ。お前が新しい王母になればいい。お母様はずっとそう言っていたわ。ローラン、シスイ、なんと呼ぶのが。シスイ。高級で堕胎剤の材料が出回ったの。前にシスイがしてた怪談話、スズムシの妻が夫を食べる話。あれは自分の話をして。マオマオはほんと鋭いな。連れてきた甲斐があるよ。たく、寝相悪いの。
What happened? What happened? What happened?
息は。
Oh. Oh my god. What do you mean? What do you mean? I just spent 10 minutes learning to like this girl, and then she just poisoned a whole group of kids. What are you talking about? Oh my god. The reason better be astronomical.
薬よ。なんだよ。一族老頭皆殺し。 目に見えてるでしょ。母親と寝たいってくすった子もいたかな。でもそれはできない。私のお母様と仲良しだったから。マオマオを助け出そうとしていたからなのね。
Oh my god.
この子分かってたのかも。唇を噛みしめて、でも一気に飲み干したのよ。
Oh my god. That I like get what she's saying, but I don't vibe with this at all. That's a good question. Why did she bring her there? I don't know. Okay, well, that was super depressing. Like, what? Okay, I totally get why Shisui did that. I get why she thinks that that would be a better way for them to die than being potentially tortured or just outright slaughtered by an imperial army that is marching toward them to attack them. But at the same time, it's just so devastating. And obviously, Maomao is going through a lot of those same feelings. She obviously understands why the decision was made and why Lolan did that. But at the same time, she's clearly struggling with the idea that these kids are now gone, especially Kyo laying on the floor. It's just a really sad sight. I don't vibe with that. I don't like that at all. It makes me really sad. And it also makes me really curious why she brought Maomao there in the first place. Not necessarily just this room, but the whole arc of her being taken to the Fox Village and then out to the stronghold. Obviously, I think the plan was never necessarily to take her, but once Maomao started to put the pieces together, I think it was just too late. Like, there was no other option. They couldn't leave her in the rear palace, figuring things out, reporting back to Jinshi and all of that. And then obviously she got to the stronghold kind of through her own mischief and she ended up getting caught. But I do feel like the whole hairpin situation was a way for Lolan Shisui to essentially maybe try to provoke some thought in Maomao about who gave her the hairpin and maybe what their goals were in terms of what they were planning for, the guns. I feel like there is a larger piece of the puzzle with Jinshi specifically, and the hairpin conversation plays into that in terms of like trying to get Maomao to understand how he's connected to this whole thing without outright saying it, because she obviously doesn't know, but she knows. And then I wonder why she brought her to this room at the very end, right? Part of me is kind of hopeful that she's hoping Maomao might have a way to save them. Obviously, they've developed the resurrection medicine, so maybe that's a potential way to save them. But again, like, if the whole plan was to eventually save them, why would you have killed them in the first place? So that really doesn't track to me, because I don't think that there's a way that you can really let them just be dead through this whole situation of the army coming and this war that is certainly going to happen, and then administer the medication to them. I don't think it's going to work that way. So if you're going to bring her in just to resurrect them, it wouldn't have made sense to kill them in the first place. So part of me doesn't feel like that is the right thing to do. So I don't actually know why Shisui brought Maomao here. I guess it's possible that Shisui might also be planning on killing herself, because she is talking so much about the fact that they have committed crimes and that when the army comes, it is not going to be good for them. I also wonder if she maybe wants Maomao to oversee her death and therefore the resurrection of herself. That's a potential outcome of this as well. We learned a couple interesting facts. We learned that Suire is a descendant of the late emperor. We learned how she is connected as the granddaughter of the late emperor's first victim, who was also essentially the ghost from the Ghost Stories episode. We learned why Shisui is colorblind and therefore connected to Mother Royal in terms of lineage. And we also learned that Shisui was essentially born out of spite to become the next Mother Royal, and the goal of making her a concubine would be for her to have an heir with the current emperor. And that's why she's been taking abortion medications. So along with ensuring that the other concubines don't give the emperor an heir, or trying to ensure that, she's been working behind the scenes to make sure she too doesn't give him an heir. I've been on a roller coaster of emotions with Shisui because I really liked her before the Lolan news came out. I really hated her when they first took Maomao in the first few episodes of Maomao being away from the rear palace. I kind of grew to like her again at the beginning of this episode, and now I'm very conflicted with how I feel about the character just based on the poisoning the kids aspect. Regardless of her reasoning, it's just a very hard and cruel thing to do. And so I guess maybe how I feel about her might be dependent on why she brought Maomao here and what happens in the next 3 episodes. And only having 3 episodes of this season left is insane to me. I feel like things are really going to ramp up. Obviously, the army is marching that way, and assuming Jinshi is at the head of that. So thank you so much for watching. If you want to stick around, go ahead and hit subscribe. The uncut version of this reaction is over on Patreon, so I'll put that link in the description box below if you want to check that out. And I'll see you guys next time for another episode of Apothecary Diaries. Bye.